Hello, I'm Iskatu Mask. Today, we'll be joining Cock in Ass for a game of TGS played yesterday, the third. That's 3 of 5, which is also another Metzen power number. 2025 in Teen Girl Squad revised version 69, some whatever the fuck. Savetria Use has done some changes to the map since we last played, and they're very unhinged. He fixed a few things and changed others, and then, well, honestly, words don't even describe it. You'll just have to see. So, for those of you who have terrible short-term memory, just like I do, in the last session, towers were wiping out half the map with their abilities, did insane damage to heroes, and basically turned the lanes into a no man's land. And even like Krabnar and the Earl couldn't do shit. So there has been some adjustments, and I may as well go through what I remember. There was a patch notes, but like hell am I prepared enough or willing enough to go through it. Primary tank hero. There's a word here, that's kind of interesting. Primary tanks. +4 armor per hero upgrade. Cool. What about over here? Is there one over here? I can't click on it. Oh, there we go. Now I can click on it. That's neat. Cool story, bruh. Fat man. So, I did tell him to add cats, but I guess he hasn't gotten around to that yet. He's got some adjustments to some of these agility heroes that I suggested. I don't know if this will swing them way too far into the opposing bracket where they're incredibly frail. But, I mean, you can make adjustments to the stats furthermore if you want to. It's more like this will help you. Gul'dan was already nerfed by the time my video was pushed out. He actually threw him just on the intellect and just tried to bypass the entire thing, I guess. So, for better or for worse, we have a very, very ugly looking boxy kind of Arthas over here. And we have non-balanced teams. The camera... Why is the camera so fucked in this? It's because they added those extra levels, but when I try to bring it back to the game level, it's just, it doesn't, you can't really do that. I've always hated shit that does that. You know, Heroes of the Storm was made by a guy whose literal sole claim to fame in his entire career was that he put a unit from Command & Conquer into StarCraft. That is the only thing Dustin Browder ever accomplished in, you know, his handful of years where he tried to pass himself off as a game designer. In spite of the fact that man was literal just a meme with no ability whatsoever, -1 armor on this unit, by the way. Don't know about that. Some of them have 1, some of them have -1. That seems a little awkward. His squad of neckbeards and bottom feeders still managed to create a Dota clone that had a functional zoom system in it. That didn't feel like it was incredibly frustrating to use inside the replay. Meanwhile, Warcraft 3 and Blizzard Polish is just fucked. And shit's fucked kind of describes a lot of the unearthing of stuff in this. I've always known Warcraft 3 is fucked. I mean, my LP, just within the scope of my LP, I don't think there was a map I went past that didn't have dozens of things wrong with it. The build and destroy AI in not a single map worked properly whatsoever. Tons of basic shit was fucked everywhere, from all the assets to the sounds and so on. Even their video playing, just playing an SMK or whatever it was fucked. It's no surprise that today, 20-something years later, it continues to be fucked. The very first thing that happens when we try to host a match in this game night is HKS crashes. Ricky's installation was also corrupted at some point and had to be reinstalled for whatever reason. And then we restarted. Oh yeah, it was Desert Strike. So we updated to the newest version of Desert Strike to see if that would fix any of the crashes. And in the newest version of Desert Strike, they removed the ability to have a rematch. They literally the only thing that they did in that map was remove a feature. and make it uglier, which seems to be a common trend with Warcraft 3. The more people fuck with it, the worse it gets. The same case for third-party maps, apparently. TGS, on the other hand, it's got problems. It's always had some problems, but Vetrius, I don't think he's very familiar with the map at all, and is just kind of like shotgunning out stuff just on a whim, and apparently not really testing any of it. So I guess that's not really much different than the normal shit, except most of the previous authors were a little more conservative about their changes. Vetrius, of course, has shotgunned out a gabillion changes between this version and the last version, and then the last version and whatever was prior, that have resulted in absolute insanity. So these what I would call completely blind shotgunning in the dark changes are going to have even more hilarious consequences than the last last game. I didn't even have much to comment about the balance after the game. It was just it's a wee bit fucked. It is a wee bit fucked. Q, HKIS, and Hizzlot on the right side versus Mr. Bug 9898. Why wasn't it 6969? Dude, you had one fucking job. One fucking job. Myself, Thad, Loli, and Ricky Honajasse, who is French. He ended up changing these heroes here differently, so it's all rushing back to me how insanely fucked this map is. Our team is gonna be so fucking worthless. Our team is going to be just the most impotent, limp-dicked shit you can imagine. I grab the agility hero. I was curious what her passive was. It's like a chance to deal AoE damage. It's basically the same as the Nagas of big clocks, but it's ranged, and yeah, it still has like the whole it'll proc before the projectile actually hits kind of desync thing, because it's just an effect that happens on attack, which could probably be abused in a similar manner. And I'm going to go engineering, upgrade, and critical strike until I realize Ricky's going to do almost the exact same thing. And I think my very first act is to buy a Peasant and start attacking Mr. Bug with it. And they will duel for quite some time. Mr. Bug is eventually going to try Incinerate, so I think we'll get to see how that goes. And Thyloli is going to cycle through all of his abilities all throughout the game. For reasons that'll probably make more sense past its Thyloli cycling all of his abilities like he always did. No, this is going to have consequences. HKS is going to kind of go like a nuker / support caster. And Q is going to go kind of like a tanking frost armor build, which is going to hard counter almost our entire team. And Hizzlot is going to go summons. Now, there's a good reason why Hizzlot's going to go summons, and that is because, by the way, the towers still insta-gib anything that gets close to them, because this huge amount of damage is AoE. And it is a massive amount of damage, and it can and will kill you, not nearly as badly as the... Stop it! He's gonna eventually kill the Peasant. Get beat by a Peasant. Eventually he kills the Peasant. I have no idea what that exclamation mark means. I have not a clue. No idea. Very strange. So, he's done some terrain changes. I think he fixed some of the trees a little bit. There's still a really big one here, but it's not as bad as it used to be. This will still blockade most of the stuff from here. Some of the names are color-coded for reasons. I will advise you to pay very close attention to the damage of the minions, the creeps, for a while. So right now, it's quite tame. He did update some of these. There's the Fister. He gave just about every single unit in the game has Frenzy now, which makes them move at light speed and attack faster, I think. And I'm not sure why he didn't just increase all their stats instead of giving them an ability. But, well, We've got an orb shop. He did some changes to orbs. And he did buff the lobsters a little bit. They're pretty weak at this stage here. The Deep Lord, I think, is a little tougher than he used to be. And they have some different abilities, I think. TGS was complaining about getting stunned all throughout the game. And I did notice that stuns seem to come out of a lot of different things. So for whatever... yeah, you'll notice these here already deal double damage compared to the ones I just looked at before. We have these... I died immediately. Yeah, that's because I didn't realize that this guy here is dealing 70 to 79 siege damage immediately. There's these moon archers that shoot titanic arrows the size of, almost the size of these. And they do very small amounts of siege damage. I have no idea where they come from, if they spawn a part of the wave as what. The Horde have an equivalent called the Witch, which I think may or may not get spawned by the towers. I'm not sure about that. These two are kind of being a little timid about this. Now, these are just baseline, but they do some damage. They are tankier than they used to be. Q is immediately spanked. Like, he is just... The lobsters have finally achieved the power. Look at the armor. Dude's devotion aura doesn't just give +1 armor anymore. Dude is cracked. Those lobsters are cracked. But still, yeah, you can deal with those. Just need a couple more summons and, you know, maybe a little bit of kiting. Nothing really too major. And there will be some crabs here that all do siege damage. It's quite important as a lot of things in the map now have fortified armor out of nowhere. For example, all the dragon turtles have fortified armor. And there are these crystal golems that also deal an insane amount of damage, have full reincarnation, and have fortified armor. And they are not nearly as powerful and pushing as you might expect, actually. We'll get to see them a little bit in this. They'll probably be a little better when some of the other stuff is toned down. He's done a full pass on all the extra items. Again, I can't comment on them because a lot of them are expensive, and my money went to other ventures in this map. So, items I didn't really pay too much of attention to. He did actually add an item that affects summons. I don't know precisely how much, but it is there. So there's some pigs up here. I will come up here at some point much later in the game and instantly die to the tower or something like that. HKS almost dies to the Moon Archer, and if he'd gotten too close to his Headhunter, he definitely would have died. I'm going to come over here and take a shot at these here. I don't realize at this stage that their damage is this high. I pick up the Arathi Pickaxe, which has stunning, and those stack. The stun chance, I'm pretty sure, stacks. And they are unbelievably powerful items as a result, for reasons that will become a little more obvious as time goes on. So another thing you'll probably notice is that he's added some upgrade things here, and this is going to be the source of some problems, I think. I'm not 100% sure. So there is like 4 separate upgrades. One affects your towers that you build. One affects the hero's damage, and one affects the hero's defensive stats, and another one affects summons. So if Lolly takes one look over here, he is going to die immediately. If I take a look over there, I'm also going to die immediately. The tower will just one-shot you at this point. So his lot is kind of beefy here, just doing some little bit of tickling. Fighting the bear is honestly not worth it, but, well, it is a bear. They did kill the deformed sons. Everything seems pretty manageable at this point, actually. We're here for a nice, clean... Oh, no, that's Ricky, not me. Okay. A lot of this makes a lot more sense. Ricky dies. HKS dies. We traded money. So it looks like armor and frost armor and... I don't know what else he's going to... I'm going to assume immolator, something like that. And the boners are erased, and all of his hard work just is gone. Just like that, just gone. They just cease to exist. It's okay, it's not the worst he'll suffer in this game. So these guys here, you're gonna notice these guys here, they're starting to rock some numbers. That behemoth, he's a tanky lad, over 200 damage, 8 armor, fortified, almost 3k health. These guys here, not quite as beefy and heavy armor, but still definitely more impressive than they used to be. The Reef Lamentals, that definitely needs to be fixed, that typo in that name there. Those guys are also pretty dangerous. They do not have stun anymore. We're coming down here. Look at this Murgle Marauder. He's got 91 damage. It's not too bad. These guys here, 58 damage. They got some numbers. They got some numbers. So you will notice that our group can't do fuck. We can't touch those. No one in our entire team can lane. Mr. Bug could actually lane a little bit here if or do some jungling rather, and we did kill a couple of these, but the Yetis are untouched. These are starting to look a little potent. Yeah, so the turtles also have frenzy, which means they move like 5 times faster than they used to, which makes killing them early on very, very hard because you can't really kite them. He did change the leashing distance to try to curb the tower camping, which is also part of the reason why he reworked this lane here a little bit. And that does seem to help, but you can still kite them and kind of harass them. And that's how you deal with this at this stage, because this turtle is rocking almost 200 damage. This one is also over 100, even with Frost Armor and Devotion Aura and his -1 armor. They're struggling a little bit here. They're struggling a little bit here. So Ricky and I are down here, and we're making a similar attempt, and I'm wondering, why the fuck are these turtles so hard to deal with? I haven't actually stopped to look at their stats yet and try to figure out what in the fuck's going on. Why is this such a pain to deal with? And Ricky is going to go down here. He's going to narrowly avoid dying to their turtles. They can see him, it kind of looks like. He's going to aggro. But he evades death. I do not know how that didn't kill him. Absolutely astonishing. He's going to cut into the turtle, and he's dead. So he's gone. And these two managed to kill the turtles. So their team's going to be quite a bit ahead of us in a number of ways. And we are getting some early camps down. We might have to sacrifice a Frenchman or two to do it. But Lolly is doing his best here with some lifesteals, some pandas. He does manage to kill the Yetis. He is level 8. I'm grabbing some of those early items for that armor. It's supposed to help a little bit with creeping. I don't know about when they're doing 200 damage. Yeah, they're going up. They're going straight to the top, just like Bitcoin or Dogecoin or Ethereum or whatever other meme coin they. I don't know what happened over here. Why did I die? I may have come. I don't know. I'm gonna die a lot in this game. And, well, at least in the beginning anyways. There will be a change of tactics at some point here when I realize the reality of my circumstances. So, we still got the primary tank hero visible here with Murden and Cairn, plus 4 armor per hero upgrade. I don't know what the max of those is, but I do know the max of the summons is 12. That gives some percentage increases. They have already cleared out the golems and everything else in this area. They're just finishing this one off. So their group's doing way better than we are at the moment, where we can't do shit. We can't even do piss. And we did kill the Murlocs and the Yetis, but the lobsters remain untouched on both sides, slowly becoming monsters. The Moon Archer is getting some benefits from my True Shot aura. I'm going to shoot HKS, the gigantic arrow the size of a planet. Also shoot, and done. The Duel of the Ages is had here as HKS tests his luck. But Gall Diddley is still pretty beefy, all things considered. The Battle of the Turtles comes, our 1 turtle against their 3. The other one rocking 225 damage. And now has Frenzy, which means it moves super mega giga fast. absolutely unbearable. I'm not really in any danger, though, as long as I just stay away from the turtles. The tower will eventually kill them. You can see its base attack speed was decreased, but the tower has a lot of damage. The Alliance is also on high upkeep and has not built any farms. So the turtle is summarily dealt with, no problems whatsoever. Ricky Hana Jasse, who is French, has arrived. This little Murloc Cliff Runner deals 86 damagey doos, and he's gone. And we trade a Frenchman for HKS. That's a pretty big return, mind you. Hi Zealot here, or no, this is Q. Q is discovering that the deformed sons have been going to the gym, seeking to become the Lift King, and they're well on their way. They're well on their way to becoming the Lift King. And Orb of Splash, 20 bonus fire damage. Meanwhile, mini altar of improvements has been built. This costs 1,500 gold. It is expensive as fuck, which it probably should be, but that's not going to stop some early investors on our behalf. Meanwhile, in the Horde side, it doesn't look like anyone's upgraded yet, but eventually Hyzilla will to get those summon upgrades. For the most part, the summon upgrades felt like the most balanced part. Man, I died to, that's where I died to the tower. The summon upgrades seem to be pretty well balanced overall. I don't really have too much complaints about them, except for the Phoenix and very possibly Saffron, but mostly the Phoenix. It gains such an insane amount of movement speed, it becomes absolutely inescapable. It is a percentage health increase that will have significance, and the Phoenix will become a monster. But I mean, it'll be still game relevant. On my end, I didn't really feel like it was a big deal, but a lot of other people had problems with Phoenixes. So we will get to see that. He said he's nerfed the Phoenix's base health. I personally think its speed needed to be reduced a little bit, but there's the, as you can see, a lot less lethal than it used to be. That cluster rockets attack. Ricky is gonna die to... I have no idea why he insisted on dueling the pig when he had no health. I guess he just really wanted to squeeze that hog, crank that hog. I'll also build him in the altar of improvements and take a look at the upgrades. I'm gonna take Commandora. I'm still thinking I'm gonna become an epic ranged hero in this, as our team steadily falls further and further and further behind. Meanwhile, that Sea Giant Behemoth, just about 300 damage. Ooh boy, that boy is starting to get very, very beefy. The Hydra is just shy. And not just the big Hydra, but the Hydra Hatchling, the most lethal creature in the entire map that has killed countless Frenchmen. This dude's got some damage. This dude has got some damage. Thought Loli is able to clear the deformed sons, tanking for his Doomguard. The Renegade Wizards are also quite dangerous now, sitting around that 150 damage mark. And they might have some other spells. They do have Banish. They also have Stun. They have a lot of stun. A lot of stun. And eventually a Scorpion will spawn in here that also stuns. Vetrius seems to be a believer that the ideal male experience is to add stuns. And that is what he's going to do. He's going to add stuns. So here's our first look at the Crystal Golem. The initial one's going to be quite dangerous because the creep upgrades on our side are very low. Theirs is also low yet, but the towers are able to deal with that. As you can see, he's got just the one tower in the front here. It's a little easier to push. Although you wouldn't know judging my top and poof. There's a land shark here that is almost invisible when it is in the lane because it does clip into the ground. And I know Mr. Buggle complained about that at one point. And I didn't think I saw that in the initial pack, but it's going to start biting. It deals siege damage, so HKS is not in too much danger initially, but it's also got a lot of health. And there is a chair that, oh, it went over there, but it stunned him here. Warcraft 3, ladies and gentlemen. Splendid. Blizzard polish. I don't know why he was throwing a chair, but honestly, I dig it. So the bear is tanking. He's got a fair bit of armor, so he's able to tank these pretty easily. As you can see, having summons just makes this manageable a little bit. Even if some of them do have chairs thrown at them that then proceed to float in the air because they do not have a death animation. That's something that would be fairly easy to set up in 3ds Max with Blink Boy's tools, mind you. But I guess whoever originally implemented the model couldn't be asked because that would require effort. By the way, that Hydra is sitting at almost 340 fucking damage. That is, however, not the most egregious thing. The Hydra always did high damage. I did comment before, I was very surprised the Hydra started with like 200 something damage. That was because of HKS doubling their damage at one point in the distant past. Ricky is sitting here being spiritually encouraging, I guess. We came down here just in time to watch Mr. Bug get his ass pounded a second time. A horde of unlikely characters, the Marvel screenshot as we can call it, is coming on over. There's the Moon Archer that just died. And look at these sandworms. We wondered what the sandworms were in the last cast. This is what they are. They are liquid death. Liquid death. You know those guys who store their piss in jars and throw them at people outside the window? You know, it's, you know, common blue state L. Yeah, that's what that is. He just throws his jar of piss at them, and that is after pumping iron and filling it up with protein from all of his, you know, his energy drinks. And he throws it at you, and it springs tapeworms, and they are like diamond-tipped chainsaws. It gets worse. That is not their base damage, and it will increase. It will increase. It will increase a lot. Quite a lot, actually. That's not even the most insane thing that happens in this map. There are just, well, it'll make more sense as time goes on. So the battle continues. Lily spams his Frost Nova and does not pursue while he has the slow available. Goes back to slapping some minions as HKS lays down some damage. There was a random stun out of nowhere. I have no idea what that was, but it was there anyways. The fighting continues. I'm still basically doing a similar build to Ricky, but without the attack speed. I go kind of like support. Pretty much nobody's surprised by that outcome. And I will, if I had just taken pickaxes, I probably would kill any single person in the game except for High Zealot. But at some point, I will just consider the enemy heroes to be just noise. Just noise in the rafters. You know, you hear rats scurrying around. That's the enemy players. I just pretend they don't exist. I don't need to pretend they exist. I don't need to acknowledge their existence. They're not real. They were never real. So Mr. Bugcon has 2 Sobe masks and some gloves of haste. He's going to cast Diffusion Flare on random things over there somewhere. He put in the effort. Ricky Hanajase assassinates Hezelot amidst his army. But now, that army, energized by Bear Seaman, is going to find a... it's going to find a Frenchman hidden away in a corner. Oh no, now the pig has 1,000,000 armor. Ricky attempts to escape, but the bear is en route. Ricky escapes. Just barely. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, HKS buys a mask and sees a peasant, which he could have killed, but he didn't. They are worth a fair bit of money. So, the peasant dies. The buffed minions are still melting quite a bit to this tower. They won't finish it off. There's some sentry wards here and there, but you can't camp the camps anymore because, well, they have to kill the Hydras who are slowly becoming insane. 350 damage. The Hydra hatchling is just about 200 top in. Thaloli has died once again. I took a step over into the wizards. The scorpion stunned me, and then I died. It was instantaneous death. Instantaneous. Because the scorpion basically has the old version of Hurl Bolt or Storm Bolt or whatever. It was instantaneous death. The tower dies. Mr. Bug, without his water elementals, tanks the wave. Oh, he summoned one. He remembered, wait a second, I ways to not take damage. Ricky Hanajase assassinates Hizzlot once again. Got an idea this time. And he starts getting cold arrows. I have no idea if that will amount to anything. The battle is joined. Frost Armor is going to counteract this damage quite a bit, especially thanks to Devotion Aura. And although the Hydras do a lot of damage, they get nullified by all the percentage reduction, and their health really isn't that impressive for this stage in the game. Nonetheless, Q almost dies. One Hydra goes down, and the pigs are all that's left. They do quite a bit of damage, but it's not enough. I died to the Deformed Suns. This is about the stage. I'm wondering what the fuck's going on, and I'm looking at their stats, and I'm like, huh. They do a lot of damage. What has happened is Vetrius has added a creep upgrade to them that they were missing. That creep upgrade scales very, very fast. And it feels like it's giving them a sorry, my eyes are really, really stinging. Like really, really, really stinging. I gotta pause this for a moment. Like, holy shit. I had to put drops in them. Damn it. Bastard. Some creeps were missing this upgrade. And the upgrade was also, I don't know if the upgrade was changed, but I don't seem to recall units getting like 300 plus damage at this stage. Mr. Bug is executed and Thaloli fights a hopeless battle. And it is still fucking burning. At this stage, I'm thinking, okay, their base damage was increased. Whatever. Ricky is trying to pick on High Zealot. This time he traded. So the Bear Patrol heads down here. I mean, what is High Zealot but just a vessel for the Hog Crank? The buffs are exchanged. Holy shit, it burns so bad. What the fuck is going on? I probably just have ulcers in my eyes again. Okay. Yeah, I think I have ulcers in my eyes again. Wouldn't know why though. I didn't need to see. I heard it. I heard it. So I come down here. I figure I'll just live in the waves for a while. The crushing attack AoE on her passive and the critical strike and stuff like that with this little bit of damage is 2.5 seconds stun, by the way. Is it actually allows me to creep a little bit early on with Commandor and True Shot. I can do pretty good damage. Not as good as like the old Gul'dan ranged build that HKS was doing could do, but still better than a lot of cases. Having that extra base agility, I don't have to pay $1 million gold for her, absolutely does help a lot. You do have to get to the stage where you can afford a bunch of these abilities to get the base damage and a couple of items, but it's not that bad. At this stage, however, I have realized that in order to play this game, I'm going to need to do more than just not that bad, because I know that we are way behind, and we do not have the ability to deal with creeps on anybody on our team. Most people on my team have no idea what they're doing whatsoever, and it's debatable if I have any idea what I'm doing. So the idea at this stage is, rather than trying to be a better person, it's to... There's just this random Hydra hatchling here. Man, it's not doing as much damage to HKS as you think. Is it HKS's build? HKS has 2 major items already. And nobody on our team has shit. I have some starter items. Bug has even less. Loli has nothing. And I don't think Ricky has anything either. They're pushing us on just about every single lane. Top has gone down. They're going to start counter jungling us. Bottom is being attacked and pushed into our base. This is a rapidly losing game. More importantly is that because they're creeping and we're not, we're just going to lose on upgrades. It doesn't matter how strong the towers are, the demolishers will eventually kill them. Also, because there's stronger minions on the map, I figure that's going to be a big deal too. Okay, maybe not. That is because there's new central towers that are absolutely batshit insane. And these ones here also have no death animations. Period. The hit test and the you see the health bar on it is inside of it. That's also set up incorrectly. So, typical Hive Workshop L on that one. And those towers, however, they look derpy as hell and they destroy everything that goes near them. So, you still have very strong defenses. HKS has found a turtle here and is tickling it down. Looks like he's already killed everything else before he encounters the French squad. Calmly walked out and then he died. Meanwhile, I have a level 5 Quill Beast that is starting to receive the summoning upgrade that will increase its health, maybe its move speed, and its damage a little bit. And I'll keep True Shot Aura and Command Aura for the rest of the game. Ricky, on the other hand, has started buying pickaxes and also, I think, may have Bash, and just stuns everything he attacks. Because stun locking was definitely something we needed to encourage in the game by adding items that stack stuns. Because Bashers was such a great Dota item. Well, presumably it wouldn't be that effective late game when you have more health, but if you're permanently stunned, can you use that health? I guess we're gonna find out, because this is Ricky and we all know he doesn't like buying items. Meanwhile, I have embraced the holy route of the pig, and the pigs are gonna start making me a lot of money. A lot of money. The pigs deal damage to the waves, and they can kill creep camps. And I am just gonna have some insanely powerful shit. I also picked up a Line Hormone Stormwind, so it's not as good as having Q around. It's kind of like a budget pocket Q, and it does make a little bit of a difference because percentage damage is well designed. So as time goes on and I upgrade these pigs, I'm actually finally going to start making money. I'll never quite catch up to High Zealot, but I will just become filthy fucking rich. Meanwhile, everybody else on my team is going to be just swamped over, not realizing that the minions now deal probably about like quadruple their original damage. Ricky walked into here and instantly died. Like, instantly died. That's because the Hydra Hatchling now deals almost 300 damage, and does do over 300 to be constitute that command aura. Meanwhile, 2 crystal golems have arrived. It's also rocking a lot of damage, but their defensive stats haven't increased that much. So it's not too big of a deal. That rogue wizard, I do not know why there is a land skiff. I haven't the faintest idea where these boats come from. But they have a small amount of fortified health, so they'll exist for a little while. They're probably the tamest thing in this way, frankly. This dude's gonna repop, and this dude's gonna repop because they do reincarnate. Resurrection is used. I think that was Q, but all Q is really doing is feeding us money because I don't know what the channeling towers do, but everything else just kills whatever goes near them. This stage, I'm going to start trying to figure out where these new creeps are coming from, and I'm going to find them up here. They deal, I don't know, 400 damage. I'm going to utilize wards, which now receive upgrades and are now finally competitive again. Really, really, really competitive again. But these guys seem to like suck the wards up with like a devour magic or something. So it takes a while to kill them because they keep destroying my wards, which allows the horde to come over here and start attacking my pigs, which currently are only level 6. Krebner has just about 800 damage and 5.3k health, which doesn't really feel like that much. By the way, Ricky walked over here and was instantly stun locked and killed. As the Alliance... Oh, I never saw this. A battle is to be waged. Oh. Eat shit. How often will he die, I wonder? A lot. Yeah, their damage is very high. So he's gonna die, he's gonna pop back up, and they're probably just gonna banish him again. Meanwhile, Hydras are doing some damage here. We're finally getting some tower damage in. They killed these Hydras, finally. Spanish, he's coming back. He's slowed. Oh, one down. 2 down. Oh. If they didn't cast that harmless Cone of Cold, he might have actually killed him. Meanwhile, the battle continues. As the footman helps me out. Camera gets yoinked over there because LMAO Blizzard Polish. I'm finally getting in some much needed kills as a priest lends some assistance with his 20 damage versus that 400 damage, and he's fucking dead. And I'm going to leave. Meanwhile, the rest of the team on their side is gonna mop those up without any problems whatsoever because, well, every member of their team is largely useful. Meanwhile, Q's rocking some items. He's got that Yarn Ball, Balanced Axe, Orbo Splash, and the Legion Doomhorn. Nothing spectacular, but definitely better than what I've got. I will return and continue to upgrade my summons as available. Ricky will come down here. And they're going to look to counter jungle now. Well, look at these crabs of 300. They do a lot of damage. They still don't have that much health. The damage is fucked, but... The Cliff Runners, if HKS did not use Chain Lightning, the Cliff Runners would have very possibly instantly killed the bear. We don't get to see them, but we can tell by the, all of his boners dying instantly. We can tell by the sand penises that were summoned earlier, the piss jar. It will be high. So HKS is gonna be They're rocking a lot of money at this point. 45 kills is not much, but that doesn't constitute the minions they've been killing. I am actually the second highest in the game, with only Mr. Bug being higher, even though he has spent a lot of time dead. HKS will be erased, as we will now stunlock this bear. Q exists. Thought Lily is erased from existence. And when we look at the hero kills on the map, Ricky has the highest. Oh, the horde doesn't even constitute kills anymore. What the fuck? The leaderboard is bugged. Yeah, that's a bug. The leaderboard should be telling the hero kills for the horde and the alliance. What's probably most likely what's happened is because they got split into separate factions, the leaderboard may not be accounting for that. For the pathing limits, because it's per player, because Blizzard polish. So they have a lot of damage. They have command aura, and they are just gonna force these down. They don't have any mana anymore, and they did burn their cooldowns on some early shit anyways. I reached the apex of my summoning power, the level 10 pigs. And all that's left for me to do at this stage is to remember Phoenix exists, and for me to start pumping summoning upgrades. Hizzalot is also doing the same. 1 damage dice, 5% health, different values in armor or dice per rank, so maybe not related to the... I think that the upgrade doesn't influence the speed on the Phoenix, it's just the base speed. Which apparently level 3 was... I hear Blizzard sound, don't you? No, that's just the air conditioner. Okay. HKS has found some Yetis. The Slammer and the Fister. HKS is instantly stunned and has to retreat. Mr. Bug is going to tell the rest of the team he should get the altar of minor improvements. He's going to start leveling the damage upgrade. I don't even care about those. I think I will get 1 or 2, which may turn out to be a very wise choice. Meanwhile, I assemble my army for round 2 in an effort to take these crystal golems I was trying to get before, but the auto-acquisition really wants to kill the Revenant, and will happily walk into shit and almost get me killed by things that deal over 400 fucking damage. The army of pigs and words slowly but methodically slaps these down, except for the times they get devoured. HKS returned to the Yetis, and similarly got slammed and fisted. Meanwhile, since now they're in full swing, wiping everything out on the map, their wave erases our wave, and they're going to steal all of my hard work. I can do naught but sit there and piss furiously into a jar that doesn't even exist, wetting my hands and staining the upholstery. I am, however, the piss color. Oh, here, I'll turn on the music for you. We get the classic Beats by Dr. Dre. I thought I turned it on, but I guess not. XD. Ricky Honajase has arrived, and the Yetis soundly fist him. These are low-level Yetis because our jungle has barely been touched. Nobody has killed these as far as I know, and these guys are also basically untouched. Mr. Bug is erased by Hizzalot's squad of goons. I return down here to attempt to finish off whatever remained. Nothing remained, and I'm stuck fighting some random horde instead. Level 5 upgrades. Pretty sure Hizzalot will be higher up. I don't know where he is on the map because fuck finding anything in the mini-map. There he is. I don't know where his summons are though. I encounter the crabs that deal 400 damage. I encountered Q that also does some damage. So I give myself to the Hydra. Q will attempt to be useful. And barely. Oh! 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 Mana burned. Ricky arrives. The Cliff Runners deal nearly 400 damage, erasing Ricky's bonermen in an instant. The French retreat. Ricky grabs some coins. He's going to contemplate his next move. Meanwhile, there's a dance-off going on as I threaten to tickle Hizzalot, who has no items of any kind. His creep upgrades are higher, but he doesn't want to engage shit while I threaten to tickle him. Mr. Bug acquires feedback, thinking it's going to help him against bears that have almost 5,000 health. Eventually, Hizzalot isn't sure what he wants to do. I'm going to aggro Krabnar and attempt to drag Krabnar into his summons. It's successful. Ricky will come down here, or HKS will come down there and tickle those dudes. Ricky encounters the sandworms that deal over 350 damage. Ricky is swarmed by murlocs and butchered. Q has arrived to save HKS. There they encounter the land shark once again, which does no damage to Q. However, the faceless, once very, very harmless, is no longer so harmless. And wiggles around back and forth, not putting up any fight. $80 million penises are arriving. Oh! A deformed grounded frostworm has arrived. They're lucky that the penises all died to HKS, otherwise they would have died. But now there's 80,000 land sharks. Mr. Bug gives up his anus to the horde once again. The grounded frostworm deals nearly 600 damage at a range, but they are tickling it down. HKS gets puked on. I really, really hate that. Not him getting puked on, the camera. Oh! Bye. I attempt to engage the deformed suns, now staying far clear from the fistful of burnt fries that they conjure from the jar of piss. The penises are biting, and in spite of his insane defensive attributes, Q is almost erased. He only survives just barely. A man has arrived. A man has departed. In bottom lane, Thyloli braves the lobsters and is erased. His Doomguard level 3 sets some of them on fire. And then they start biting. An epic battle is... and he's dead. Pigs slowly harvest the map, and I collect all of the shekels no one wants to collect because lanes are a death trap of random creeps that deal insane damage. HKS is almost at a full build, and Q is not far behind. Meanwhile, our team has no significant items other than the aura item, still on the exact same items he was an hour ago. Same with Ricky. And I don't think Thyloli is much better, seeing as, well, we haven't ever been able to shop at any of these. Ricky has begun upgrading his other stats. HKS gets his ass destroyed somewhere. We encounter the grounded frostworm, now dealing 625 top in. Granted, that's magic damage, so it's not really that good against heroes, but yeah, there's some chaos damage mixed in here too. The land sharks deploy. I calmly walk away. I mentioned that he dies to nerve gas in vent. He's gonna ask, what even killed me? How am I even dying? The answer is nerve gas. That double message send. Stay polished. Ricky has arrived. Will he brave the High Zealot Zoo? Dude's rocking some crowns of nobility. And some cheese. This shit should not be repeat spawning. The tentacle deals 435 damage. That's like 415 damage more than they used to do. I approve. I did tell him to increase the tentacle's damage. He took it very literally. There are level 3 upgrades. Soon we're going to see that spike. We're starting to hit level 3 in some things. But yeah, we're definitely behind. Ricky has arrived. He tickles High Zealot, but it's still really just a tickle. It's a time car. Yes, 425 plus 200. It's basically like full-on demolish upgrade on some of those. Like the towers will just evaporate when they attack. Well, and then the towers will evaporate everything else that gets in range. It's just rocket tag everywhere. I don't want to be near that. The pigs, on the other hand, have 22 base armor. We slowly whittle down the towers. They just randomly shoot shit and blow them up. I don't think I ever go down here even once. I'm pretty sure I stay away from down here. Maybe like in the distant future, but Ricky has arrived for round 2. Kobolds from High Zealot have arrived that deal no damage. Mr. Bug is annihilated. The kobolds slowly slap down the spellbreaker and then are just instantly erased. I saw some gold icons there. I wonder if they actually give bounty or something. That would be something to look at. What is this? Recaller. I saw High Zealot like just disappear off the map so many times that he should have died, or otherwise it. And then Murloc's got him. So, meanwhile, Ricky will be upgrading. I think he built... Yeah, over here. He will be upgrading. Now, we're going to watch his hero. Because as time proceeds, there'll be something very interesting about his hero that will change. Ricky once kills himself running into a camp, encounters HKS, and engages the stuff. I gave Mr. Bug 1 wood. That was literally all I had. Q braves the deformed suns and decides maybe this is a mistake, and so he will retreat. The lobsters are turning. Our very first creeps we've had any real success with in a while now begin to march and spin in place, assisted by noble pigs. Yeah, there's a few times I just die instantly to this shit. I have no health. I can't access health. I just pretend that my hero isn't real. Just a faucet through which the justice of pork flows. Q will come down here and mop this up. Getting stunned by something in the process and taking some damage. The towers mow through everything and they gain frost armor, which gives them a whopping 77% damage reduction. Ooh, oh, ooh. That's insane. That's on top of the base reduction, so most things just will not scratch those. And then their attack speed is reduced on top of it. You basically need the nuclear damage offered by these insanely overskilled units. Speaking of overskilled units, there's a level 1 Phoenix. It has 24 armor. It deals 245 damage and has just shy of 4,000 health. Ricky on a Jassy, who is French, tickles some turtles. So I slowly, gradually upgrade my units and just navigate around the map, seeing what we can do. I spawn units, and the golems immediately suck juices, telepathically squeezing my hogs, as Ricky runs around like a chicken with his head cut off. You see, they really, really like the taste of serpent wards, who are phallic in shape, and slurp them up in an instant. Q contemplates life and might be thinking about building a upgrade ding dong at some point. I'll come down here and heckle these dudes once more. The Hydra hatchling is summoned. I mean, that Hydra hatchling does 500 damage. That's, my hero decides, hey, let's move forward again. Same group. I retreats. Philoli does not retreat. Philoli barely survives, just barely. Unbearable. Oh, my dudes move away to attack the wave. The battle is joined. The battle is lost. Oh, this is a familiar sight. The Horde are killing my attempts to destroy the golem. And there's nothing I can do about it. They steal one golem, the pieces of shit. So, at this stage, there's not really a lot I can do. I'm not confident I can fight the turtles, dealing 627 damage. Selective reading. And I will leave. as a level 2 Phoenix sporting nearly 6,000 health, 341 damage, 26 armor, flies around the map. Its low end is really low on that damage though, so the damage is pretty random on it. I have no idea if the buffs affect the Phoenix Fire or not. Ooh, 129 gold. File Loli donating immense amounts of Ricky. Absolutely immense. I cap out True Shot Aura, which for some reason wasn't capped at this point. Saffron appears, which does not appear to benefit from the summon upgrades. If it did, it would have stats similar to the Phoenix at this stage. The Saffron already scales with the hero level. It should receive probably some benefit from the summoning upgrade, but probably not a lot, because you can have more of them and they're already pretty strong. Once everything else is brought online, they're going to be still pretty relevant. You'll see why, as they do freeze towers, I think, still, so they should be able to disable the killing machines here and allow this push to do some damage if they can keep the rest of their shit alive. Meanwhile, I do have Brilliant Aura, but it's only level 4 and I don't have any mana regeneration items, and I don't think I'll ever buy any. So I don't really restore my stuff very quickly. All the units are instantly obliterated by the towers, including the Hydras and the Phoenix. And their push just simply ceases to exist. Well, dude has got some health. Dude has got some damage. I think we're in trouble. Thigh Loli's understatement of the century has arrived. But I don't worry. I have pork. Q scurries around, and that Hydra is... Look at the stats on that thing. 71% damage reduction. Like 1,000 or something top end damage. Ricky Hanajase gets body blocked by the pigs, allowing Q to escape very, very speedily. Ricky gives chase nonetheless, starts to deal a small amount of damage, and almost instantly dies to the minion wave. Which, while they may not deal 600 damage, they still do a lot of damage because they're maxed out, and we're still level 3. They're working on demolish upgrades now. We are gonna be just behind on that the entire game. However, bottom lane is getting kind of ignored because HKS can't really solo it due to being stunned all the time, and Q gets gutted by them and can't solo it. Seems like top lane's going to be their focus. Krabnar and the Erdl, though they do have some very impressive damage, are very much outshined by the fact they are melee. Their health is not really that great. Meanwhile, the Hydra capped at a 4269. That's pretty good. I'll be looking away for a moment. The crabs will spawn and I will instantly die. That's because the crabs deal 500 damage. They walk over and they butcher Mr. Bug, although the Horde steals the last kill. The Horde now has 1 kill when it's probably closer to like 15 or 20. Most of which are, you guessed it, Mr. Bug. He keeps getting stepped on like a bug / all. Frick. The squad assembles. Destroyed. The boner is annihilated. Q is getting slapped. HKS tanks for a while. He is a dumpy ass boy. I think he buffed Healing Wave actually, if I'm not mistaken. With some patience, they slowly destroy the turtles. Now the next challenge awaits. Thyloli is erased. Once again, attempting to free the shop so he can buy a head barrel. You'll notice the distinct lack of communication that ever actually happens from the group. We definitely can kill that. Like, if I went down there, I could kill it, but if I'm ever in the area, no one ever mentions anything that they need it. Meanwhile, in top lane, they attempt to coordinate, but Ricky erases High Zealot. No, Ricky is erased. The bird killed him. So the level 3 Phoenix, now maxed out on upgrades, deals 572 top end and still 125 low, or 112 low end. Mr. Bug once again pads the Horde's stats as the attempt to clear these minions continues. Man, if it wasn't for Frost Armor, they would have died like 20 minutes ago. The slow effect is definitely helping them a lot. The little Hydras are going to deal some substantial damage, though. Oh, HKS only barely survives. Ooh. Get fucked. Meanwhile, I've made my own phonics, as Ricky calls it. I asked him if he was hooked on phonics, and he said yes. Thanks, Warcraft 3. I needed that Blizzard polish. Hey, they managed to clear it. Took them a while, but they did. Let's see what Mr. Bug's stats are whenever he revives. Oh, 75R. 50 damage a second. Apparently this benefits from intellect. So, oh. Someone made the effort. I think they stole his summon. Is that what happened? They stole his bear. Unbelievable. There's the grounded. The grounded frostworm. Why does it deal? Where did it get the upgrades from? Is that from them stealing the bear or something? There was a lot of money in middle, like a lot. Thylully attempts to push forwards. His noble quest ends abruptly. The tragedy. That's a lot of damage. Dude's got more health and more damage because he's going to be ranged. Other than the Earl's crit, that's his only advantage. Walter Lamental. Primary tank hero. It looks like the Horde might have a push for Mantang. They do have demolish upgrades, but we have towers. And so the tragedy once again strikes. Everything steps forward and is erased, just like Mr. Bug, who's also erased. Down bottom is doing some damage. It's so fucking deep. The Fister is fisting something at us. And the wave dies. So they're gonna try pushing mid again. Meanwhile, I'm investigating here to try to accomplish something in my life. And I'm gonna kind of just ignore the presence of enemies because, well, it turns out I don't need to do anything. This respawn fucking sucks. I wonder why. Flying machine bombs, level 1. Oh, one tower is erased. I think it's actually a defender reviving stuff, maybe. Not sure. It had some effect anyways. That Phoenix does a lot of damage. And the push is over. Was nice knowing you. Oh, Mr. Bug died again. I'm not even sure where. Maybe the Phoenix got him. Ricky has arrived. Ricky duels the bird in the midst of all their summons and dies. Oh. Oh. The peasant. Ah. Ah. I ignore all the tragedy and drama happening elsewhere in the rest of the map like a reasonable person and focus on my own game. Meanwhile, over here somewhere, they will attempt to push again. This push, too, will be erased. Although the Phoenix will not be erased. Can they out-heal it? That'll last a long time. It looks like mutual destruction. Everything is dying miserably. Only the beefy summons remain, and the catapult which finally destroys the tower. I ended up killing most of the Hydras, but Q comes over here and I guess he's gonna finish it. Dude, why do they do so much damage now? 601. Where did they suddenly get the summoning upgrades from? Up. This has been one of the most violent games we have seen in a really long time. What do you think? Do you think Mr. Bug's gonna die again? I like him. Huh, the enemy team is over there. I better walk forward with that. 30 health. This guy has a crazy amount of bonus damage. If it wasn't going to be Chain Death Coil, it was going to be Chain Lightning. This guy scores some very, very easy money he sure as hell doesn't need anymore. It's about the time he starts spending money on those upgrades, huh? Well, that's kind of what he's doing. Kind of what he's doing. What about Ricky? Is Ricky also getting upgrades? I'll kind of ignore those upgrades. I felt like that it wasn't going to do me too much good. So, these buildings randomly become invincible for reasons unknown, which will cause the wave to kind of scatter around irregularly. These towers are still giving shit, doing a lot of damage, but their siege has downed some of the other ones. The duel begins. Ricky effortlessly murders HKS, although the bird almost murders Ricky. I think Vetria said he is removing spell immunity from the Phoenix. That's just going to allow Dragonhawks to perma-CC them again. In other words, they're going to be worthless. So, yeah. Not sure that's a good decision. They've got some damage here. Bye. And away he goes. Does that bring him back home? Yep. Just pushes a button and he's safe. Feels kind of overpowered. Probably should have a long cast time on it. At least a cast time at all. I upgrade my Phonics to level 3. Q is murdered. Turtles are flailing around and leaving the lane. They've lost the taste for bloodshed and war. This one here has a taste for dog, though. Hey, look! He's finally got a head barrel. They finally cleared this. I have no idea when that happened. Maybe I cleared it, or maybe Ricky helped them. I don't know. The Phoenix trivializes what was absolutely insanely lethal groups before, although sometimes I'll wall myself in here with wards. Some of our beef is finally pushing over with the Hydra that deals 704 top end. Fuck you. So even the hyper-lethal towers can eventually be bursted down if they do not destroy these Hydras fast enough. Even though there's like random shit appearing. Meanwhile, High Zealot is erased once again, giving the Siegebreaker another bear, which seems just a little grisly. Mr. Bug once again joins the respawn room, and our push is erased. I killed HKS somewhere. I think my bird killed him, actually. Hey, yeah, I must have cleared the bottom or something, because I have a head barrel and a yarn ball. Pretty sure we went down there and cleared it at some point. So I've got some actual items right now. That's nearly double the health I used to have. Keeps me kind of beefy. I also have stopped dying, like, completely at this stage in the game. Other than the, you know, crabs appearing on me and killing me. The occasional turtle. I've stopped dying to the enemy team. The minions aren't an enemy team. They're just destruction incarnate. These must count as air units because the Doomguard can air attack them, which seems a little busted. We have to watch mid. No safety tower. Meanwhile, we're just shoving in their face. Ricky has arrived. You may notice Ricky's animation speed, it doesn't really seem to be that fast. The bird instantly erases Ricky in like 2 hits. He just ceases existing. Meanwhile, there is bird. There's bird on bird violence. Yeah, there is a little cast time for it, but nonetheless, he just instantly disappears. I'm gonna ignore the push. I know the towers are just gonna effortlessly erase. Loli gets annihilated by some Yetis that deal over 600 damage. And the cycling of random shit begins. Force of nature and feral spirit. As far as I'm concerned, other than watching Ricky die, this is kind of like a solo PvE game. Yes, I killed HKS with a bird, but that's like a part of the PvE experience. Hazel can only accept 1 bird in his life. So, I'm gonna head off over there. Ricky has arrived. I am researching the global armor upgrade, but I think I only get maybe 1 or 2 of those. Ricky has forgotten to complete his upgrades and hasn't changed his inventory whatsoever. He's going to jump down here, immediately costing him around 300 health. Bob still wanders around. I think Bob actually does drop something. Mr. Bug dies again. I don't think he's realized that maybe he needs some items. HKS is stun locked, but despite the fact Ricky basically has nothing in the way of damage or health, just the fact he stuns all this, stacks all the stuns, it doesn't matter. Just unlocks him to death. We are, remember when I talked about way back in the early stage of this map where I had like the Windwalk Crypt Lord that just erased everything when I think it was Cheese Child and Arcan introduced us to how fucked this map is. Yeah, we're kind of right back in that circumstance with the stun items. It's not as explosive with the old Berserk, but there must always be a counterbalance. So there was some random Terran Marines over here. They don't seem to get upgrades from anything. The Hydro-Licks are annihilated by the power of pigs. And these Demolishers are kind of beefy, but the pigs are porky. So it kind of evens out. There's some seals that are under the effects of Depression Aura. I have no idea what they come from or what they do, but they don't seem to have an attack. Yeah, the pigs and everything kind of just annihilate this wave. I was actually really surprised how much damage they seem to do. Maybe it's because it was mostly casters and it was like an unarmored bonus or something. Ricky returns. I start collecting all this disgusting amount of money laying around. I'm gonna come in here again. They're gonna suck the pork right out of my pigs. Apparently this stacks with Mask of Death. 75% lifesteal, that's insane. So nobody ever bothered to rebuild in the middle. It wasn't necessary. I had the money, I just didn't bother. I wanted their money to be fed into us. We clearly needed it more than they did. And I didn't mind if they just ended the game. But they can't end the game. It's not possible. And that's because the towers are insane. Even though these dudes here are pretty beefy, they've got to deal with towers that revive extra cannon fodder, feeding the Horde even more money. Mr. Bug is erased by the bird. I think it's endurance or making the bird like even more fast. Like it's just crazy. Thought Lolly almost actually managed to defeat the lobsters. But he didn't. I'm gonna clear this out. Like I said, I'm ignoring the rest of the map. It's not my problem. We've got 4 people, they've got 3 people. Our 3 people can deal with it. If they can't, then well, maybe they don't deserve to win then. Ricky's gonna stunlock this bearer, and then it just ceases to exist because he summoned another one. The towers are slowly getting forced down. It almost seems like victory is... Oh, no. It's Jover. HKS tries to heal through it. Depression Aura exists. It doesn't matter. A bird has arrived, but it's not able to one-shot Ricky. Some intestinal purging takes place. I try to get revenge on the cliff runners and crabs and all the other nonsense. Thankfully they die in like 1 hit. I have an axe now. I picked up a bong mostly just for the slight little bit of restoration. I could have just picked up a mask instead. It might have been better. I'm very wary about the tentacles and the fucking... God, everything that's in here is horrible. At least they can't attack you. They're not very lethal. This game is really stupid. All right, so I found Q. I was gonna run, and then he was running. I think because he saw the bird. He definitely could have killed me, though. The turtles might yet kill me. Now I'm caught between a hard man and a hard place. So I decided to leave the turtles alone and just try to focus on clearing this out so our wave can push. I think I don't even notice Q most of the time. His hero just kind of blends in because it's really busy. His boners don't have that much in the way of upgrades, so the bird kind of just melts through them. He doesn't really want to try to attack me here, so he's going to try to leave instead. The bird is going to chase. Thanks. The bird is going to chase. The bird is going to chase. The bird is now going to leave. Of course, back through their base, the barracks becomes invincible. Primary tank hero. So Ricky is burning Berserk and Chemical Rage to try to move. You notice that for some reason, Ricky moves really, really slowly. And it's not really clear why. I thought it might be due to the upgrades, but it doesn't look like he's changed them. He's just become progressively more and more slow. Meanwhile, Mr. Bug has died again. The more Ricky appears to collect items or move or whatever, the slower he becomes. It's not clear what's going on. We all thought it was the upgrades, but now I'm not sure. I attempt to fight the Hydras, but with the Hydra hatchlings doing 600 damage and thousands upon thousands of health to grind through, it's a little much even for the pigs at this point. Meanwhile, there's a primal Pandaren, whom just dies. Loli will be the next to die if he doesn't move. Well. The Horde charged forward, and I thought this misery was going to come to an end. I gave up on the Hydras and left them. Mr. Bug has arrived. Dude has a level... What the fuck? Never saw that item. He's got some expensive shit. None of it increases his fucking health. But... HKS was murdered. Pigs were gonna chase High Zealot, but he ceases existing. The creep upgrades are pretty much maxed out at this stage. They've reached the apex of their power, I believe, with the Wrangler doing 662. I was told that their Monsoon, some other spells also scale a little bit now, whether or not they do 600 damage a tick. I'm not sure. And so most people in the map are kind of scared about going anywhere near them, even though Q is sitting on 76 reduction with a slowing effect and should be virtually unkillable. Ricky, on the other hand, even with all of his buffs, moves incredibly slowly. You know, it's not the first time I've seen that kind of a bug, but I couldn't remember what it was from or if I ever even knew what it was from. Not with this map specifically, but Warcraft 3 in general, because it feels like a bug. So some Alliance come over here and are erased. Some Alliance come over here and will also be erased. The turtles will live a little bit longer. I've been creeping pretty much exclusively for most of this map, only wiping through the waves as they get in my way, collecting ungodly amounts of money. If we look at the creep kills, you can see that High Zealot still has the lead, although I have caught up to him quite a bit, all things considered, and nobody else is anywhere near us. That does not include the creeps, so overall our team is definitely going to be a lot higher than us, but just minion kills is actually surprisingly even throughout all the groups at this moment. That's the fact we've been pushed for so long, and Ricky died again. And the fact they've spent more time in the creep camps than we have. Ricky has 10,000 gold and has not invested into any more upgrades. Because believe it or not, I still think it may be the upgrades, because Ricky will actually become even slower at one point, and that's what I'm waiting to confirm. With the addition of the 8,000 health Phoenix, that actually deals damage now, I can actually clear out some of these creep camps. Even the tentacles. Even the turtles. Although the turtles will kill all the ground units. The lobsters claim another. I think I did rebuy these and they're just going to die immediately. I just figured, well, I have the money, I'm not going to use it for anything else. So I may as well. I prepare to take on the Hydraulics. Or demolish this level. Oh yeah, isn't it? There's like a replay assistant thing that Vitreous told me about that supposedly lets you view the upgrades. I should have grabbed that. Oh, I have it, but I just forgot to run it. These pigs are just erased. Oh, the Phonics almost revived, but it didn't. Mr. Bug dies again. Ricky escapes, however. What a rotten way to live. Always advancing in the wrong direction. Oddly enough, HKS also seems to be very slow. Very slow, lads. His years have finally caught up to him. He's acquired some branches. Dude's got some intellect. Yet he's so slow he can't use it. He contemplates the orb for so long he forgets to eat, drink, or even breathe. I finally kill the Hydraulics. Ricky Honajase is erased. HKS speedily escapes from the monsoon as the giant peasant is flung at him. I frankly have no idea what's going on this map. I have no idea. There's another one. Right in the face. HKS just tanks through it. You know, with all the intellect he has, it's like Chain Death Coil really doesn't apply that much from it. You should have healed pretty heavily from that. Mr. Bug remembers, wait a second, I was leveling up abilities. No, never mind, he unlearned. He leveled it up and then unlearned it. We have our golems. They deal a lot of damage. We have our boats. They deal a lot of damage. Thanks. Krabnar and the Erdl untouched. Completely forgotten about as the map remains an utter death trap. The enemy team tries so hard to defeat this unguarded lane with only towers in their path. Monsood is once again channeled. They've got some Lullapults on here, so they might be able to finally get it down. They're trying so hard. Q almost dies. A giant peasant has flung at HKS again. A bird. A bird from Mr. Bug is found in HKS. Doesn't do that much damage. Oh, he dies. Up. It's not like HKS was gonna run away. The dude couldn't even crawl away. And so the battle continues. The tower on fire is being repaired by the Frenchmen. We do get pushes up top, like the minions I've been killing up top and then mid do shove into their base. All it takes is some lax defenses. Meanwhile, these towers here are still quite full on health. But those Hydras can definitely do a lot of damage. They just have to tank through 80 million towers to do it. The Alliance has a key advantage, though. Dragonhawks. Apparently, Thaloli must also be very... Yes! He's very slow! Like, half the heroes in the map are just basically almost immobilized. I think Q will also succumb to it eventually as well. It's like the Hakari plague or whatever, slowly spreading through mouth-to-mouth contact. Just for some reason, men in the lanes end up kissing each other. Ricky, like, starts Frenching people and they just... their bones just become brittle and their muscles atrophy. I think I took a swing at my own pig there for a moment. It's a massacre. There's just so much shit. It's because I never bothered to replace our things again. Oh, Ricky and HKS engaged in the Battle of the Cripples. You've heard of the Battle of the Bastards, right? Well, this is Battle of the Cripples. Literal wheelchair jousting. Canes outstretched. Ricky just happened to be the Harrier. Dude's got some dogs, but they're only level 3. In the bird battle. I exist mostly just for the buffs. We can't kill the bird, it's too birdy. But I can sure waste their time. That bear has 66 total mitigation. Getting 80%. Ridiculous. Meanwhile, the witch doctors puke fire on boners. The boners have one upgrade. Ricky is even slower than he used to be. Observe as this chemical rage comes to an end. His upgrades haven't changed, by the way. Oh, he's so slow. Mr. Buggut stepped on again. HKS inches forward. And now Krabnar is going to be stun locked. I didn't see this, but Ricky will mention it at some point. I don't know if Ricky actually has Bash. He has these two items, though. Which I'm pretty sure they stack. It would be 30% Bash chance. Yeah, it's a little broken. Krabnar may not get to attack a single time. Nope. I run from the Murlocs to deal 500 damage. Ricky is forced to use mass teleport to move around the map more so than usual. There's a lot of money over here. A prospective Q could saddle up, get rich. I looked over to Ricky. I was like, what are you talking about? And he just got murdered by a bird out of nowhere. And I remember that destroyed me. So, I'm going to attempt to do the Erdl, and it turns out I actually can. Oh my god. Here comes the turtles. They don't do that much damage, though, all things considered. Certainly not compared to, you know, a swarm of Murlocs or a handful of penises thrown out of a jar. I thought Fire Lily had a barrel hand. What? Well, he has a bird now. It's inseminated him. Absolutely inseminated. Mr. Bug has arrived. He has a key. His movement also seems fucked, doesn't it? Like, it seems like he's slower, too. Definitely. I think I might be the only one who... I think I might be partly affected, but I'm not sure. Yeah, Q's a little affected. Q's brought over as Peon. Q is scheming a way to deal with these accursed tidal giants once and for all. Meanwhile, I don't know what the hell that was, but there was sure a lot of them. Where's Krabnar? Did he die? My god, the Murlocs. The Earl is going to help us deal with this camp over here. Turtle on turtle violence. HKS is murdered by Ricky. Stun locked on contact. As Mr. Bug begins to feel old. The bird has enabled me to creep effectively for the first time in the game. The power of pork and poultry. the Erdl is going to start nibbling. The Erdl still does have divine armor. I think it may steal some of the cooldowns and mana from the towers. The crab is over here. I don't know where he was previously, but he has arrived. He does have some health. They definitely get some health. They don't have as much health on the map, but when they're spawned, they got a chunk of it. So, although their armor may not be very high, they are quite beefy, and the Krabnar does lifesteal a little bit. So that helps deal with some of their waves. The monsoon won't instantly kill them. They've got decent damage, but that bear is pretty tanky even without the buffs from Q. Meanwhile, Ricky is he's advancing. I had no idea that these two dudes were inside their base causing problems for a while. Otherwise, they could have sent the bird down there and it might have been able to pick off High Zealot or something. See, he still doesn't have much in the way of armor, or health or anything, really. Montaro goes down. The Erdl finally dies, leaving Krabnar, who can't out-sustain this, that's for sure. HKS is murdered by Mr. Bug. Tipped over his wheelchair and he died. Ricky advances. Somehow even slower than before. Somehow. Somehow. I never get rid of the Arathi pickaxe. It's clear this item is one of the most powerful items in the game. I prepare for Ricky's arrival. And it's Jover. Looked like Krabnar might have been able to do something, but then he got stunned. Ricky never upgraded his summons. His bear could be a Giga Chad just like Hizzlot's, but he forgot they existed. Look at that man. That's a whole load of pork. And a bird. Can't forget the bird. Ricky sends in a bear, but he's only level 1. I didn't realize Ricky never upgraded those. I would have told him to do so. Ricky slowly advances forwards. The battle could be over long before he arrives. The right things are going, but then the Hydra hatchlings arrive. Ricky may die for this. It's not like he can run away from them. Oh, the damage is insane. The bear is erased. Oh, Ricky used the vampiric potion. He just fully healed instantly. Meanwhile, HKS died. An effort was made. I kind of really wanted to kill those because obviously the land frost worm is like the most powerful unit in the game, but yeah, I wasn't brave enough to try to solo them at the time. Plus it was like so out of the way. Just cycling around up top and middle was keeping me busy since it took so long to clear the camps. And their middle is kind of exposed now. It's a little exposed. Looking a little naked. They still got towers. Some other shit, but not as much. And then really the big one's gone. And I did eventually buy these back. So Krabnar has returned with 15,000 health. Again, his other stats haven't really increased that much. Ricky, on the other hand, it feels like he's even slower somehow. I wonder if enough time passes, will he become completely immobile? HKS is the same. Like, they need to have some kind of competition here and who can move the slowest. HKS had like plus 600 damage for a moment. as he attempts to navigate around stealing these minions. More so out of spite than anything. An effort is made to assail the Tower of Death, but it is aptly deathly. And everything that tries to cross it is annihilated, with the exception of a crab. A witch is summoned. The crab engages, throwing crabs at birds. Oh my god, the little crabs. They all died. But they probably did 500 damage apiece. I don't see why not. The push up top continues as the bird effortlessly tanks the anti-air towers. I try to get this central tower down here, as it's obviously the most powerful thing, but may as well focus on the little towers as they don't have that much health. A peon dies. I can finally place wards without them getting instantly erased. The one tower goes down, a Hydra dies. Meanwhile, Krabnar runs around on a rampage, wiping out everything that spawns. Giving us some vital tanking. Q will die, and I'll be honest, I have no idea how he died. I think like a bird or a pig auto-acquired him as he tried to move around, and he just died. Krabnar is still biting. Ricky has found the Erdl and is slowly killing. He took the dagger of blinking so he can move. Meanwhile, the battle continues. There's a dead chicken over here. Krabnar is unkillable at this time. There's not enough towers to easily deal with him, and he slowly sustains, nibbling on stuff. I'm just scurrying around being a pest, giving buffs to the Hydras. Unfortunately, they're dying. So I can't really do too much, but I do have a Phoenix. The little Hydras just slaughter everything that spawns, but they don't have buffs and they don't have much health, so. More fodder arrives for Krabnar. It'll hold him up for a while, but nibble onwards he does. Nobody can deal with him. High Zealot is still working and finally erases this camp. HKS is finally moving fast again somehow because he took the boots of speed, I guess. Which make him stupid fast. But they're ignoring this, which is actually bad for them. Because Krabnar is still alive and still killing. Ricky advances forward. Mr. Bug, still that sub 1,000 health. Ricky is erased. Mr. Bug barely survives. He is stunned by something. I don't know what. Something stunned him. Krabnar is still alive. Now Q is killing him though. Q takes no damage from Krabnar. Krabnar is dealing like 100 to him. Q is literally reducing it by 9/10. High Zealot will die in the lane from a bird or something. I never knew how he died either. He just spontaneously died. The Erdl has arrived to join Krabnar in the nibbling. Krabnar is still alive. They're slowly whittling down those insanely high reduction towers. Mr. Bug dies, as he must. They finally have the grounded frost room, which no longer has a summoning upgrade. How utterly bizarre. They're slowly pushing forwards. But you know what? Their base is dying. This top tower is still alive, though. But man, Krabnar and friends are still alive, now nibbling on the castle. As birds and other odds and ends come over to clear out these towers. They are doing some damage. They destroyed that tower comparatively fast because there's a lot of chaos damage in this group. But Ricky will perma-stun them if he gets a chance. Meanwhile, their base... what the fuck? Oh. The password you have provided is incorrect. Please try again. Thank you, Blizzard. Because I provided a password at any point during the viewing of a replay. Because that has anything to do with the viewing of a replay. Because Blizzard Polish. Their castle had half of its health left and it just disappeared. I don't know what happened. That was weird. The map is it's got a few small minor issues that might need some kind of tweaking, you know. Just a little bit.